Shabbat Shalom. It's wonderful to be back at CBE, singing and praying and welcoming Shabbat together, having been on sabbatical since January. I've missed you. If we haven't met yet, my name is Cantor Josh Breitzer. I'd love to meet you after services at Kiddush. Please introduce yourself to me. And I thank you, each of you, for giving me that time and for taking this time to be present in person, on live stream, or with the recording. If there's one thing I learned while I was away, it was how precious and how fleeting time can be. It seems to me as if the past 6 months have simultaneously flown by while also stretching on. And I imagine that for many of us, summer has that same quality. It's a time of traveling, of transitions, of comings and goings, of reflection and imagination. So too for the Israelites, still en route to the Promised Land in Parshat Mas'eh, this week's Torah portion whose name means journeys, and much of whose substance can be summarized in a single verse, Numbers 33:2. ויכתוב משה את מוצאיהם למסעיהם על פי אדוני, ואלה מסעיהם למוצאיהם. Moses wrote their goings out according to their journeys at God's direction, and these are their journeys according to their goings out. An 18th century Moroccan rabbi asks, why does the Torah mention motza'ehem, their goings out, as not just mas'ehem, their journeys? He imagines that instead of waiting until the very end of their wandering through the wilderness, Moses was literally journaling their journey, jour après jour, each and every day, every stop along the way, whenever they had gone out from a particular place. Motza'ehem, their goings out, could thus also be read as starting points. And for Moses and the Israelites, each of these points, each of these places would carry significance for them as they continued on their long journey home. With gratitude to my clergy teammates for this notably embossed leather-bound diary, it actually has notes embossed in it. That's what makes it notable. You missed me, yeah. I took a page from Moses' example, and I did some journaling of my own, tracking in real time all the places my sabbatical took me. I hope Moses' handwriting was better than mine. As I forecast in my sermon last December, I have indeed spent most of these last 6 months on a listening tour in my current capacity as president of the American Conference of Cantors. I went to 13 states, plus Ontario and England, visited 40 different Jewish communities, and I had more than 100 in-person conversations with ACC Cantors. According to my extraordinary wife, out of 181 days, I spent 118 of them on the road. Suffice it to say, I could not have undertaken these travels without her remarkable support and encouragement. Thank you, Donna. Throughout my presidential listening tour, I heard about and marveled at other remarkable work undertaken by cantors across the land and the sea. ACC social media stories told the larger Jewish world all about how my colleagues are making a positive difference for their congregations day in and day out. Here are some whose work especially called out to me. Meredith Stone retired from 41 years of service to Congregation Emmanuel of Westchester. Sharon Kahn, based in Kansas City, provides interim cantorial leadership to congregations all over the U.S. Norman Cohen Fala, following in the footsteps of his predecessor Irving Schulkes, actively engages Temple Sinai of Miami in a vibrant Saturday morning series called Sinai Sings. Tracy Scher carries on Deborah Hartman's legacy at The Temple, that's what it's called, in Atlanta, by expanding their sense of all that a cantor can bring to that historic institution, just as Aviva Merer carries on Janice Rogers' legacy at Indianapolis Hebrew Congregation. David Rosen, who learned from and eventually succeeded the late Benny Meisner at Holy Blossom Temple, has endeared himself to Toronto's oldest synagogue through his collaborative spirit and genuine concern for his congregants' well-being. Toby Glaser, who often plays percussion at Simchat Torah across Brooklyn, has gone home to be cantor of North Shore Temple Emmanuel in Sydney, Australia. And a mere 3 weeks ago, native Londoner Zoe Jacobs organized and led Great Britain's biennial Shirei Chagiga Jewish Music Conference, which this year coincided with the inaugural gathering of the UK's newly minted Movement for Progressive Judaism. I lift up these individuals and the places we encountered each other, not because I expect you to know any of them, although some of you might, but because in lifting them up by name, I hope to help you all better appreciate the impact and the importance of cantors to their communities, how we have cultivated sacred relationships with both clergy and lay partners, and how our status continues to rise in the eyes and estimation of the wider Reform movement through our diligent daily efforts to guide our people through the continuing trials and travails of the 2020s with creativity, resourcefulness, and unique expertise. Earlier this year, I was given an extraordinary chance to elevate our status further when Cantor Leslie Goldberg and the rest of her class invited me to address them at their Hebrew Union College ordination ceremony. In all of HUC's 150-year history, I was the first individual with the sole title Cantor ever to use their own words to offer such an address. By way of a classical cantorial recitative, I illustrated how our liturgy's rationale for counting the Omer, quote, so that the souls of your people Israel will be cleansed of their contamination, unquote, could act as a catalyst for animation, inspiration, and even joy as our newest clergy colleagues begin their careers. I told them how, while on my listening tour, I had observed firsthand how fiercely rabbis and cantors care for their communities while also doing their very best to care for themselves and their own families at a time when the global Jewish community is facing enormous challenges from within and without. And amidst these challenges, it's clear that Jewish clergy have considerable sway. What we do, what we say, how we say it, and how we sing it undeniably affects those whum we serve. I da 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 da. I da 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 da. I da 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 da. I da 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 da. It's called an interlude. When Jewish communities read aloud from Moses' travelogue in Parashat Mas'eh, rather than recount the Israelites' journey in the usual Torah trope, we traditionally chant through it in a special melody which echoes beyond time and place. So come with me now on a mini listening tour through Numbers 33, 21 through 28, which lists 8 out of 42 stops our ancestors made on their winding way home. What do you hear in this passage? Vayis'u milivna vayachanu berisa, vayis'u merisa vayachanu bikehelata, vayis'u mikehelata vayachanu behar shafer, vayis'u mehar shafer vayachanu bacharada, vayis'u mecharada vayachanu bemakehelot, vayis'u mimakehelot vayachanu betachat, vayis'u mitachat vayachanu betarach, vayis'u mitarach vayachanu bemitka. This sweet tune customarily connotes memory, momentum, and miracles. Ashkenazi Jews use it in Genesis chapter 1 to declare each new day of creation. At the end of each book of Torah, as Ashley knows, to pray for each other's continuing strength, and most famously, for Shirat Hayam, the Song of the Sea, which Moses and the Israelites sang together after their going out from Egypt, their Yitziat Mitzrayim. Fast forward to this Shabbat, and here we are, as Rabbi Colin taught us, Bein HaMetzarim, in the midst of a narrow 3-week journey to Tisha B'Av, the spiritual low point of the Jewish year, marking the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem, along with a whole succession of national calamities over the centuries. A single melody carries all of this meaning if you know what to listen for. You see, cantors have always brought sound and silence together to amplify an entire spectrum of human experience. We help our people resonate with our forebears' struggles in one moment and then fortify them to endure the harsh realities of our present day in the next. Crafting concerts, communal or ritual events in this manner requires more than just a nice voice, passing musicianship, or the use of savvy AI. It requires high degrees of artistry, sensitivity, and emotional intelligence. As contemporary polymath Daniel Levitin writes, quote, "Rituals tie us to the event itself and to a cycle of history in which similar events have previously occurred and will continue to occur. They are a form of externalized social memory, and when marked by music, they become even more firmly instantiated in both our personal and collective memories," unquote. A 19th century German sage teaches that the stages of our ancestors' journey carry collective memory not only in their melody, but in their very names. The Israelites named the places they stopped at based on what they experienced there. Two of the places I just chanted about share the same Hebrew root, kahal, which means community or congregation. To me, this suggests that traveling together in community provides a double portion of connection and engaging across differences, which also happen to be two of CBE's key values for the new future we've been envisioning. And so I'm excited to invite you, my CBE community, to travel with Donna and me in the near future, next February, to Morocco, on a tour organized by the American Conference of Cantors for cantors and congregants alike. Morocco's Jewish history dates back over 2,000 years, making it one of the oldest Jewish communities in the world. Jewish life flourished in Morocco under various dynasties, with vibrant communities in cities like Fez, Marrakesh, and Casablanca. Today, the legacy of Moroccan Jewry remains alive in historic synagogues, bustling medinas, and deep connections between Jewish and Muslim traditions. This will be a musical journey to remember, and I hope you'll stay tuned to learn more about it in the coming weeks. The Israelites carried with them the lessons they learned from each stage of their congregational journey to the Promised Land. Last December, I concluded my pre-sabbatical sermon this way: I carry you all with me. I pray that I return refreshed and renewed. I pray that the cantors I encounter feel seen, heard, and energized by my presence. I'm grateful that these prayers were received. And I now conclude this post-sabbatical sermon with a prayer for you, my holy congregation of the past 15 years, a special Misha Berach, beseeching the one who blessed our ancestors on all their journeys to bless each of you who belongs here at CBE exactly as much as I do, as together we journey on into the years ahead. The text of this blessing is coming around now. Maybe someone can help Isabel pass them out. Thank you. שברח אבותינו, אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, שרה, רבקה, רחל ולאה. הוא יברך את כל הקהל הקדוש הזה עם כל קהילות הקודש. הם ושותפיהם ומשפחותיהם וכל אשר להם. שמייחדים בתי כנסיות לתפילה, ומי שבאים בתוכם להתפלל, ומי שנותנים נר למאור ויין לקידוש ולהבדלה. ופת לאורחים וצדקה לעניים ומכסה לחיים ברחוב. וכל מי שעוסקים בצורכי ציבור ובבניין ארץ ישראל באמונה, הקדוש ברוך הוא ישלם שכרם ויסיר מהם כל מחלה וירפא לכל גופם ויסלח לכל עוונם וישלח ברכה והצלחה בכל מעשה ידיהם עם כל ישראל, אחיהם ואחיותיהם ואחיותיהם men, and we say Amen. This is the refrain. Amen, 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 ve'imru Amen. Let's all rise as we're able and sing it again. It sounds great. Amen. Two more times, this time swaying with me. Amen, 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 ve'imru Amen, 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 Let's stay risen as we turn to page 586 in the middle.